Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and today we're going to be doing crochet. So I've got a very special stitch that we're going to be learning today. Hey Flux, welcome to the stream. So I've got a special stitch we're learning. It's called the crocodile stitch and you can see it here. It looks like scales. Now the back is really interesting as well. So this is what the back looks like. So it's flat, so you can use this on the top of gloves. So like if you made gloves and then put the crocodile stitches just on the top part, you could do that. You could easily make this into a scarf, but because it's flat on the one side, it's not uncomfortable. Like you wouldn't have like a pattern or anything like, against your skin. So you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this is a very advanced stitch. I realized as I was making this, I went ahead and put it on my schedule, and as I was making this sample, I realized that this might be a little bit more advanced than we were ready for. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the stitch today, but I'm probably going to go a little backwards, and next week I'm going to do something else that uses the V stitch that's maybe a little simpler, so that you can do that one first and then come back to this one. Now, you can go ahead and try this one today. It's not a problem to try it, but if you don't succeed, if you feel that it's a little bit too difficult for you, don't worry. That's okay. Like I said, I realized I scheduled it thinking, oh man, I haven't done crocodile stitch in forever. I love that stitch. And then as I was making the sample, I'm thinking, this might be a little more advanced than probably my class is. So, but this is how it looks. It looks really cool. And the scales all like kind of come up, so we're going to, I'm using a size 4 yarn, a 5mm crochet hook, also known as an H in American. I've got a pair of scissors here. And first, before we get started, I'm going to show you something that I think, so we have talked about changing color by just pulling in the color, the new color. But I want to show you how, especially if you have really tiny yarn and it's not sturdy, or you're doing something very lacy, you may want to change color. You may want there to be more stability. So I'm going to show you how to do something called the magic knot. Okay. Magic knot. So let me put this to the side for just a minute. We will do that shortly, but I'm going to show you the magic knot. And this magic knot can work for any string. It doesn't have to be yarn. Okay, here's the deal. So we're going to be tying 2 knots. One's going to go around the dark green. One's going to go around the light green. All right. So the first one, I'm going to put my light green around the dark green and just tie a single square knot. That's it. That's it. I'm not doing anything else. You're doing rocket surgery. That's advanced too. Yes, rocket surgery is quite advanced, Flux, and impressive. All right, so we've got this one, this color going. Now we're going to take the dark green and tie it around the light green. So I just put it under. I think that helps me see it better. And you just do a square knot. And a square knot, all that is you cross over and pull it through the middle. It's just like your regular, like you're tying your shoes or something like that. It's just a square knot. Okay? Now, so we have 2 knots. We have the dark green tied around the light green and the light green tied around the dark green. Now check this out. You pull it tight. And you don't want to pull too tight, because if your yarn isn't great quality, it's just going to pull apart. But what's cool about this is, even though you did only a single square knot, not a double, like when you tie your shoes, sometimes you'll double it up. You don't need to do that. But what you can do is you can actually cut this right next to the knot, like right next to it. It's not going to come loose. So just don't cut your working yarn. That's the long part. You want to cut just the short part. That's the key. You're going to have a little bit of a bump, there's a little bump there, but it's not big, and it will work into your crochet or whatever you're doing, and that way you can continue. So this especially is great for like I said, if you're using very fine yarn, or you're doing something super lacy where you can't carry the yarn, or like it would be very visible or something like that, and you just want to change color, this is how you do it. Okay, I'm going to cut this off because I don't actually need these colors. But anyway, that is called a magic knot. Flex says, cooking strawberries and eating a late dinner. You're cooking strawberries. I don't think I've ever cooked strawberries. I mean, maybe to make jam, but I didn't, I've never cooked it for like a meal or anything. Usually I just cut them up cold. That's very interesting. One more thing before I get started, and then we're going to start on our crocodile stitch. But because the crocodile stitch is very advanced and there's several layers to it, so you're going to be focusing for a while, I want to go ahead and talk about my Discord server. So right here is right there on my screen. That is, it says Art Share. That's the Discord link. However, that's not actually a link. It's just, I'm just giving you the address. So there you go, Flux. So graciously, thank you very much. Put the link in the stream chat. Also, if you are watching the VOD of this, somewhere on my page, there's an About section. There's a tab that says About, and under that, there is a button that says Discord. Here's what you're going to see when you get over to Discord. So you're going to join, and let's see. All right. Okay. So you're going to join, and here's what's going to happen. There's several different channels. ArtCrit, oops, didn't mean to do that. ArtCrit is where people post the artwork that they've done. Okay, so like this last one was done with a pastel, and that was of a boat drawing that we had done. You can see here's different versions that Crixano did. Very good. So this is the original, the pencil version. Then he came in and did it with pen. So a bunch of different ways. So that's our ArtCrit. And so that is mostly for paintings and drawings and maybe other kinds of like sculptural art, but something that you purely, you know, it just has to do with art. Our crochet projects that are strictly crochet or knitting is going to come here. Like, so for example, the last piece that was done here was, you know, he was working on crocheting this little piece here. And we had a little chat about the yarn, the kind of yarn he was using. There's also Just Chatting. And Just Chatting is where you can post pretty much anything, you know, just nice, funny things. You know, this says that we're performing witchcraft when we do crochet, and can't lie, it seems a lot like that. So I'm not gonna necessarily disagree that crochet is witchcraft. So, okay, let's go ahead and get started. Now, like I said, this is a very complicated stitch. I'm going to bring this back in here so you can see it. What's most complicated about it is keeping track of where you are, because we're going to be turning it back and forth. So like, you know, we crochet this way and then we turn it and crochet that way and then we turn it and then crochet this way, like that. So we're going to be flipping it back and forth. So that's the part that is difficult to keep up with. All right, so let's go ahead and make our slip knot. And just to remind you of how to do that, you cross this over, like you cross it over so you have like a little loop at the top. Whichever side is on top, in this case it's this. You make a little loop and pull it through the bottom, through the middle. Now, you're going to grab both the working side, which is the long part, and the tail, which is the short part. And then grab that loop and just pull. And that's your slip knot. All right? So now we can pull this tighter. And I've got my hook, so I'm going to put it on the hook. Make sure that when you tighten it on the thicker part of it and not the thin part. Otherwise, it's going to be too tight later on. Now, crocodile stitch always works in sixes. because, well, we're actually working in 2s, but it works in 6s. So I'm going to chain 24. So remember, your chain is you hold your very first loop in place, yarn over. Yarn over means you bring it from back to front, and then pull it through. And I just pinch it there to give myself some leverage to pull it through. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I just keep moving my pinch like further up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's a multiple of 6. Then I'm going to add 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and yarn over like you're going to do your double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet into the 4th from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you go into the chain that's 4th from the hook. Go ahead and pull through, and now we'll finish our double crochet. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, pull through the last 2. All right, now what you end up having is you have 2 on here. Your original like extra chain 4 counts as a double crochet, and then we just did another double crochet. So that's 2 right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to actually chain 2. So yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through. That's 2. And then we're going to skip 2. So we've got 1, 2. We're going to go into the 3rd. So go ahead and double crochet. We're going to double crochet in the next one. So we're doing 2 together, but we're going to the next hole. Okay, so double crochet. So now we have another 2. So we have 2 here, we skipped 2, and now we have another 2. Let's chain 2, 1, 2, then skip 2, 1, 2, and then go into the 3rd. We're going to double crochet 2. Oops. Chain 2. And skip 2. Okay, chain 2. And skip 2. 1, 2, and I go into the 3rd. Oops, getting a little funky there. Do a second double crochet. We want to do 2 of them together. You'll see why we're doing 2 together here in just a minute. Chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, go into the 3rd. Oops. This is very wonky yarn, so that's why I say lots of little oops. Chain 2, skip 2, and this should be our last 2 that we do. So go into the 3rd. Oh, you're back. You forgot to type. So I was reading what you said. You said that you're cooking the strawberries in lemon, brown sugar, and balsamic vinegar. So that sounds good. Are you eating that like with a salad or something? Like how are you, what are you pairing that with? Okay. Now, I want to go ahead. I'm just giving myself a lot of slack here so that it doesn't pull through. I'm going to go ahead and weave in my end because otherwise it's going to get in the way. So you can get either a smaller crochet hook, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to get a slightly smaller crochet hook. Let's see, this is a 4, and I'm using a 5 here. And all I'm going to do is go in and out. It's called weaving it in. So I'm going to pull through to the back, then turn around and pull through to the front. Oops. Told you it's funky yarn. Then go to the back, and I'm going to do this like, you know, a couple of times. Probably about 4 total, like counting like back and forth. So 1 front, 2 back, 3 front, 4 back, and then turn around. You would have had with cream but forgot to buy cream, and the strawberries were on the edge of going off. So you figure cook them, and at least they will last another day if I don't eat them tonight. Oh, that's smart. Yeah. So this was number 3. So I'm going to pull it through one more time. Okay, now I kind of just tug on it, and I'm going to go back the opposite way. And what this does is it locks it into place. And it won't move because it's resisting itself. And you go back all the way back to the beginning. Oops. I don't know what just happened, but went through the wrong hole. I'm not sure where Crixano is today. I think sometimes he takes naps, so he may be doing that. I wish I could have a nap. Let me tell you. Today's been a very good day, though. Okay. I don't know what I did. I think I went too far, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt. It's not going to pull it out. So we're just going to snip that. All right. So now we can get back to business here. Okay. This is where we're going to start. Things are going to start getting a little confusing. All right. So we're going to focus, and I'm going to go very slow. All right, so let's get us back down to where we ended. So we ended here, okay, and we've got 2, skip 2, 2, skip 2, like that, going all the way across, okay? Now, so what we're going to do is we want the top. So this was the foundation. This is the top here, okay? We want the top to be on the right-hand side. So we are going to chain 3, which is going to count as our very first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. All right. And then this very first crochet here. So we see we've got 2. We're going to actually crochet around it. So remember a few weeks ago, I taught you how to do loops and posts, and I taught you how to crochet around the posts. That's what we're doing now. So we're going to actually crochet around the previous crochet there. So you go right into the middle and just double crochet around it. So this is 1. We want a total of 5. So we've got 2 here, our chain 3 plus the one we just did. 3. 4. And 5. Now, we're going to turn it, but in order to turn it, we have to give ourselves a little chain. Just 1, but it just allows us to turn. So you're just going to chain 1. Now, we're going to turn it so that our top is now facing the left. So what we just crocheted should be kind of facing down, away from us. Well, not away from us, towards us, I guess. Make sure to give yourself some slack with your yarn. All right, so now what we're going to do, and the easiest way I think, we're going to actually crochet around this second post. The thing is that it moves around on you. So what I do is I grab it and then just crochet around it like while I'm kind of grabbing it. And that helps. That helps a lot. So there's 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 5, remember. 4. And 5. Okay? Always chain 1 because that's what's going to help you turn. Okay, so now we're going to turn it back the other way. So our top is right here facing right. Now, if you look at this scale, hold on, let me just get everything out of the way. So we just made our first scale. Look at that. It's partially covering the next 2 double crochets. So we're going to skip those and we're going to put it in here. Otherwise, everything would be layered on top of each other. Now you could, but it's going to make it very bulky. Whereas, I mean, look how bulky it already is with skipping. If you didn't skip, it would be all smushed together. So we are going to actually skip the next 2 and start with the third one there. All right. So we already did our chain 1, which gave us the ability to turn. All right, we're going to skip these 2. And like I said, it's easy to just pinch it. So I'm just going to pinch it and kind of hold it open. And I'm going to double crochet 5 into that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so we've got our first side done. What do we do before we turn? We've got to chain 1. So chain 1 so that we can turn. Now we're going to turn it to where our top is now on the left. And we can tell it's the top because our scales are facing down. So this is the top. All right. Grab your next double crochet, the post, and we're going to crochet right around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1 so we can turn it. Remember, we're going to skip 2, so we'll skip those. And we're going to go into this one, this next one. So I'm grabbing it. And then going ahead and double crocheting into it. As long as you can keep your direction correct, it really isn't too difficult. It's more because, I mean, even on the first time that I did this, I haven't done it in a while, my scales got all wonky. So it'll take a little bit of practice. Like I said, we're probably going to do, I'm going to do like some kind of V-stitch next week. I haven't decided what, so I'm on number 5 now. What do we do before we turn? Chain 1. Grab that stitch. 2. But yeah, I'll pick something easier than the crocodile stitch, which I just didn't even think about it because, I learned the crocodile stitch kind of towards the beginning of when I learned how to crochet, and it just took me a lot longer to get it than probably had I learned it later on. So my memory wasn't of really having difficulty. Excuse me. My memory was not having difficulty. My memory was doing it early in my in my learning process. So that's why I was thinking, oh yeah, we'll do crocodile stitch, no problem. So I chained one, we're going to turn it again. So again, every time we start a new one, the top goes to the right. So all of our stitches should be facing left. Our scales should be facing left, the rounded part of it. Okay. It's actually really cool what it does because they kind of layer over each other. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're right at the end. We've got 4 more crochets. We're going to skip these 2 and go right into the last 2. Oops, I need to pinch it. So Flex, how was your weekend? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was at my sister's, as many of you who joined me on Friday know from the cat cam. Chain 1 so we can turn. As many of you guys know from my little kitten stream on Friday night, I was at my sister's house babysitting adorable kittens. And so that was pretty fun. But then the weekend got kind of eventful and uneventful at the same time. A lot of things kind of happened while I was at my sister's house. So I'm glad to be back home, needless to say. And I'm glad everything seems to be kosher now. All above board. So that's good. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1 more to do. 5. Okay. So we have finished our first row of stitches. There's our first row. So I'm going to let you catch up because I crochet pretty fast. So I'm going to let everybody catch up for just a minute. Or if you're watching this on YouTube or the VOD, you can always pause it until you catch up. But I'm going to give it just a second. But yes, this was kind of a crazy weekend, so I'm glad to be on the other side of it. That's about it. That's as good as it gets. I'm on the other side of the weekend now. Great. Okay. So if you need to continue, I would pause until you're done. I'm going to go ahead. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to remember that foundation row. We're going to create another foundation row. Okay, so we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to actually go right into the middle of that. Like right into the middle of that crocodile stitch. So that's our first 2. Now we chain 2. Remember our foundation, we did 1, 2. We're pretending like we're skipping 2, but what we're really doing is we're going to go, remember, so back behind here, you have those 2 that we skipped. We're going to go right into the middle of those. So we're not going to try to go into the stitch or anything like that. You can do it from either side. You can either do it from the front, which is going to give you a little bit less. It'll where these connected, that chain 1, it will kind of tie it down. So you could do it that way, or you can go behind it and just go into the chain like behind this and allow this to be loose. I allowed this one to be loose. So I'm going to actually kind of tie it down on this one. All right, so I'm going to actually go around everything there, right through the middle of those that we skipped. So we've got 1, 2, another one. So we do 2. Remember, we do 2, and then chain 2. It wasn't that it was a bad weekend. It started off really great, like especially Friday. I thought the stream was excellent. I really had fun during our our kind of art/kitten stream on Friday. Then I hung out with some buds on Friday night and had a little whiskey. It was actually scotch, technically. I had some scotch and it was very delicious. And then I just misunderstood some things that happened, and I acted upon that misunderstanding, and so that it became a bigger misunderstanding, and so forth and so on. Needless to say, it's fixed now. Everything is great, but it caused my weekend just to be a little bit crazy. That was it. So it wasn't really bad. It just was eventful. There's a lot going on. So, okay. So we did 2, chain 2, 2, chain 2, and now we're going to do 2 again right in the middle of the crocodile stitch. So, you like whiskey, Irish or Scottish ones? Yeah, this was technically Scotch, so I like whiskey okay. The thing is that, you know, it's got that burn, and so I'm not good at sipping it. So chain 2, don't forget to chain 2. I'm not good at sipping it. We'll just say that. I've got to shoot it. And really, Scotch isn't meant to be done with the shooter. I don't think it is. But I did it anyway. All right, remember I'm pinning mine down, but you don't have to. You're going to go into the middle of the 2 that you skipped. So double crochet. You use a water chaser to deal with that? Well, I didn't think about that. I'm not like a good whiskey drinker. So you're a bit of a whiskey snob. Well, you probably wouldn't like my drinking habits then. Chain 2, and now we're going to go right into the middle of our next crocodile stitch. Well, you know, I mean, the thing about it is that honestly, I was just kind of drinking, you know, because my buds were drinking, and that was what looked appealing. Because I was at my sister's house, so I was a little bit at the mercy of what she had in stock. But she actually had great stock of liquor. I just couldn't decide what I wanted, so I went with whiskey. All right, so I've chained 2. I'm going to go right into the middle of those 2 stitches that I skipped. And I'm going to do 2 of them. Chain 2. And then the last one we're going to do is right into the middle of that crocodile stitch. And we're going to do 2 of them. Okay. Now, give me just a minute. I just need to grab a Kleenex. My nose is being drippy today. It's funny, I went to my esthetician today, and I had an appointment, but because of Corona, I mean, you know, we wear masks and everything, and they got their appointments staggered so that they can do like nice cleaning, you know, extra cleaning beyond what they normally do and all that stuff. But they also take your temperature, and if your temperature is over 100, then they will not see you, and they can take it twice, and then that's it, and then they can't see you again for 72 hours. Well, I went to the gym this morning, and that raises your temperature. It raises your body temperature, and I didn't think about it. And I actually was a little bit late at the gym, so like if I had gone earlier, I probably would have been okay because I would have had time to cool down. But anyway, I went and it was 100.8, and she tested it twice, and it was just too high, so I had to cancel my appointment, which was a super bummer, because, you know, I was really looking forward to that, but it happens. It happens. Okay, so we're at the end. We've done a second foundation row. I'm going to turn this over so you can see what this looks like. So remember our first foundation row? Now we've got a whole other one on top. You said you don't drink often, a few IPAs or real ales, whiskey, or sometimes with the wrong friends. Anything goes and keeps going and going. Yep. But, you know, I don't think these guys were definitely not the wrong friends. They there's limits. We have limits, but I mean, it was all online, so you know, we weren't like in person or anything like that, but it definitely, I didn't go overboard, but clearly it was enough. My brain was whiskey addled enough to misunderstand the situation. And I mean, you know, it happens. I personally think there's a reason for everything. I think the universe works. And I think there was a reason why it all happened, and that, you know, good will come out of it. That's what I think. Okay. Now, we want to stagger these. See how I've got these where it's like every other one, you know? We want to stagger them. So how you do that, we're going to chain one, because remember we always have the chain one to turn it. So you chain one, and we're going to turn it so that our top is facing the right, meaning that the rounded part of the scales is facing the left, because that's the bottom. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to skip these first two and go into the second two. So I'm going to grab this top one. I'm going to grab the first one and do 5 double crochets. So 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will say, when it comes to anything, I'm not a snob about very much. Maybe tea. I'm a little bit of a snob about tea. But, you know, even that, fine. If you want to drink herbal stuff and call it tea, whatever. I don't care. You know. Okay, so we're going to turn it so that the top is on the left, the bottom is on the right. Remember, the scales are the bottom part. We've got to chain one. I forgot to do that, but that's so we can turn, so it can go the other direction. Your Earl Grey, I like black tea. That is my favorite for sure. Now, I will drink other teas, but yeah, I like the bergamot. I will drink Earl Grey a lot, for sure. For sure. Okay. Hold on, I like lost my, there it is. Lost my stitch there for a minute. Okay, so you grab your stitch. So I like black tea. Well, I like making masala chai, like with on the stove with the milk. But I will add brown sugar to it to make it, you know, kind of a treat. So I don't make it very often just because it's a little sweet. I mean, I suppose I could make it without the brown sugar. It'd probably be still delicious. But I don't actually drink a lot of milk generally either. So normally I just do straight tea. Usually black. I like estate blends. Let's see, I'm on 3. I've got 4. 5. But I do like Earl Grey quite a bit. That's what I'm really a snob about. I'm going to be honest. There's, okay, so chain 1 so that we can turn again. There are like, I call it chai juice. I don't know what it actually is called, but it's like concentrated chai that comes like in a package. And like you get one of those like foamer things and then you add it. I don't actually foam my chai. I just make it on the stove and whatever, I don't really whip it or anything like that. Just whatever foam it makes on its own, that's what it is. I just drink it regular. But I do like making it on the stove. I do think that's the way to make it. To actually boil the tea, I use loose tea. And I am a little bit of a snob about it because like I like putting in my own spices. I like, you know, putting the tea in myself after the spices have had time in the milk to kind of, you know, get going and saturate everything with the flavor and all that, you know. So I don't know if you can get that from the squeezy tube of chai juice. That doesn't sound great. So okay, so we're starting a new scale, which means that every time you start a new scale, top is to the right, the scales are pointing to the left. Okay, so we chained one so we could turn. Same difference, we're going to skip these two and go into the next two. So you're going to grab that first one and go right into the middle there. And we're going to do 5 double crochets. So got 1, got 2. Well, you sound like you're a good cook, so that's pretty cool. I mean, you always seem to be cooking something new. Or new to me. Maybe not new. I mean, I've never cooked strawberries before, so. It's pretty cool. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chain 1 so I can turn it. Now I'm finishing the stitch, so my scales will be to the right, my top will be to the left. Oh man, it just started pouring outside. All right, I'm going to grab this top stitch and I'm going to do 5 into there. I just all of a sudden heard like really crazy rain. Thing is it's hurricane season right now, and I'm in Florida, and so we get quite a bit of like tropical storms and hurricanes and things like that. So who knows what this is? I'm hoping just a tropical storm. I was supposed to maybe go out on the boat tomorrow, so we'll see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, chain 1, and we're going to turn it again. Now, this time, remember, we're starting a new crocodile stitch. Every time we start a new crocodile stitch, the top goes to the left and the scales point towards the right. We're going to skip the next 2 and go into this second to last one. I pinch it and I start crocheting. I'm going to do 5 crochets. You said you're a decent cook, no chef, but decent. Well, you know what? Decent cook is all you have to be. It's all you have to be. I'm a decent cook too. I will go so far as to say that some of the dishes that I make are quite excellent. Probably chef worthy. And I have technically been a chef. I mean, I was paid to do it, but it wasn't like, it was not like any kind of like restaurant or anything like that. It was at a kind of a camp type situation. But I was making like the breakfasts and all the meals and stuff for like 30 people. So, all right, chain 1. I think that counts. Okay. This is where it starts getting kind of twisty, and you've got to really pay attention to what you're doing. Hold on. All right. So we're going to turn. So remember, our scales now are going to the right. Our top is going to the left. And we're going to grab this next stitch. See, I'm showing you, and I'm still getting kind of confused. And I mean, and I know how to do this. I'm telling you, this is not... It's not an easy stitch. It's easy to get lost, I should say. Oops, and I lost my yarn over there. Okay, so we're going to go through. We've got 1, 2. You said you cook simple food very well. You can do very good complex cooking, but you're alone most of the time, so you don't see the point in cooking complex meals just for me. Yep, I'm about the same. I don't get too complicated because I'm just cooking for me. I mean, honestly, even if I was cooking for somebody else, I probably still wouldn't get too complicated just because it's just not the kind of person I am. I mean, unless I was making for like an event or something. But I've got some really good, like tried and true classic like dishes, and just stick to those pretty much. I mean, like I can make a lot of things, but those things that I make are pretty good. So I just, why make a whole bunch of other stuff? I do try new things as long as it's simple. Teacher Margot. Hey there, Hooker. Yes. Hey there to you too, Hooker. Haven't seen you in a while. I mean, I guess technically I saw you last week with the, uh-oh. I see things flickering. If my power goes out, it will come back on. It probably takes me about 5 minutes to get everything going, my internet back on and stream again, but I will stream again. I will come back on because we are almost done, but we're not quite. So if for some reason my electricity goes out, I will come back. I'm just giving you that promise. Hey, Crixano. It's okay. I figured, I actually said at the beginning of the stream, I thought you might be taking a nap or something. No problem. Flux says you make curry or Italian meal. Yeah, nice. Yeah, those are good dishes. All right, so here's the thing. Remember how we skipped those first two? Well, so now we're ending with 2. So what we're going to do, chain 1 so that you can get over there, because we're not really turning, but so you can get over there. Then you're going to go right through the middle of that, and we're going to slip stitch, which means we're going to pull through both stitches. There you go. Now we need to make that foundation chain again. So we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as our first double crochet. We're going to double crochet right there in between the 2 that we just did. Or, well, that we just slip stitch between. Crochet there. So we've got 2 there. We're going to chain 2. And then we are going to stitch right into the middle of the crocodile stitch. Middle of the stitch. So chain 2. I mean, sorry, not chain 2 yet. Do 2 double crochets, then chain 2. I'm getting myself confused because everybody's joining the stream, which is great. Okay, so remember, we're going to double crochet after we chain 2 right into the middle of those 2 that we skipped. And remember, I'm pinning mine down, but you don't have to. You can go in from behind. And we'll do 2 double crochets. So 2 double crochets. Then chain 2. And we're going to go right into the middle. We're going to double crochet into the middle of the next crocodile stitch. Chain 2. And then go into the 2 that we skipped, right in between the 2 that we skipped. Yeah, the great thing about Italian is that, man, you can just throw that stuff together. 1, 2. So I chain 2, and I'm going to go into the middle. Oh, well, he won't be alone for long. I mean, after I'm done with my stream, I'll pop over there. I'm sure you will too. I'm sure just everybody's getting their stuff together. All right, chain 2, and this will be our last one. We're going to go right in between. So we started by skipping the first 2. We're going to go right into the middle of those. Okay. So there we go. We've got our new foundation row. Now we're going to basically be redoing that first row. So we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Our top is going to be facing the right, and the stitches are going to be facing the left. So the bottom of our scales are going left. Okay. So this is our first one. We're going to pinch that very first post there, and then we're going to do 4 more because this one counts as 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5 total. I started counting at 2. So I did 4 more, but it was 5 total. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. All right. To turn, we always chain 1, and then we're going to turn the entire thing around so that the top is facing left and the scales are facing right. Then we're going to pinch that next next post, go right into it and double crochet 5 more. Oops. Now Crixano, I was telling everyone at the beginning of the stream that this is, when I started making the sample, I realized this was probably more advanced than you guys are right now. So I'm going to scale it back and next week do a stitch that's related to the crocodile stitch, but considerably easier. It's going to be like a V stitch. And I think you should probably do that one first. Like if you want to watch today's and try it, you can, because I have already technically taught loops and posts. But I think what would be better is if you catch next week's stream and then come back and try this, because otherwise you might be very frustrated. But you can't, you're welcome to try it today. I just wanted to let you know that I do think it's a little bit more advanced than I originally thought. So I'm going to chain 1. That allows me to turn it. So remember, every time we start a new stitch, every time we start a new scale, scales go to the left, the top straight part goes to the right. Every time we start a new scale. So we're going to skip these 2 and go into the next one. Yeah, I was making my sample today and I was thinking, what in the world was I thinking teaching this early? It's a really cool stitch, so I guess I just kind of got excited. And like I said, it's not impossible for a beginner to do this. I learned it at the beginning, but it just took me a while to get it. Now, of course, I didn't have an excellent teacher to show me how to do it, and that's not actually true. I actually did have an excellent teacher. Sorry, Christine. That was the name of my teacher, and she was awesome. But it still took me a while to master the crocodile stitch. So, because I was a beginner. But all I remembered was doing it at the beginning. I don't know what I just did. I think I just did something funky. Hold on. I'm going to go back a little bit. Yeah, I did. I actually crocheted into myself. So, okay. So, let's go through the correct hole, Sarah. This happens. So, 3, 4, 5. Your fingertips kind of hurt from knitting because you kept hitting your fingertips on the tips of the needles. Yeah, that happens. It takes a little while. Some people that knit will wear like little rubber pieces on the top of their fingers, like especially the ones that get hit a lot. Okay, chain 1 because we're going to be turning. Now we're starting a new stitch. So what does that mean? New stitch means that the top goes to the right and the scales go to the left. We already chained 1. Okay. Teacher Margot, if you can hear me, if you're able to chat, is it raining out by you? Is what I was interested in. So, I need to skip these 2. I almost just crocheted into them, so I'm glad I caught that. We're going to skip these 2. Oh, wait a minute. I was wondering why this was like... Okay, guys. Deep breath. I got a little bit off. It's probably because I was reading chat and not paying attention to what I was doing. So, give me a minute. Flux said, Crix, you will harden the fingertips with time. Just like playing guitar. At first it hurts like heck, and then you feel nothing. That is true. Okay, we are not starting a new stitch. Therefore, the top needs to be going to the left and the scales need to be going to the right. I just confused myself. But I realized that there's still a scale there there's still a post there that has not been crocheted. So I'm going to go into that post. Hold on. Go into that post. And do my five double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is true. What Flex said is correct. Like, you will build up calluses over time. It just takes practice. Plus, you did a lot in a row. And I usually don't recommend knitting that much in a row. Okay. Well, you're just going to have to work about being kind of loose the best you can. You can always, when you crochet your foundation row, every time you do a new foundation row, you can go up a size. You can go up to a 6, crochet across, then change back to a 5. You can do that. Okay, so we chained 1. We're going to skip these and go into this next one. So I pinched it, and now I'm going 1, 2. Well then,